When you can't make it to your kid's game, you don't have to miss it. With Game Changer, it feels like you're there watching your kid's game live in crisp HD, following every play in real time. And replaying the moments you'll talk about later with automatic highlight reels. So even when you can't be at the game, your kid still knows you're on the sidelines cheering them on for every big moment. And Game Changer is always free to download. Live the game like never before with Game Changer.
There's no one like you, and there never will be.
From the producer of Bohemian Rhapsody, there are many legends, but there is only one. Michael, rated PG-13, in theaters April 24.
We became personal. He became
personal.
Personal, as in we became good friends. I was interested in him. Yes.
Okay. Or did you have a romantic relationship with him?
This is the plaintiff, Naima Burgess. She says she loaned the defendant, a former business partner and friend of hers, money to buy more products for his electronics and clothing store. The defendant has since dodged her calls, has avoided her at all costs, and she doesn't deserve to be treated like that. After all, she's a nice person, and she deserves to be paid back the $2,000 she's owed. This is the defendant, John Justin Mayhew. He says the plaintiff wanted to be much more than friends with him, and even pursued him for over a month. They did indeed become romantically involved, but once they split up, she decided all the money she put into the relationship should now be paid back by him. The woman's just mad they're no longer together. This lawsuit's a bunch of baloney, and he owes Zippo. He's accused of not treating a lady right.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
You see it, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome,
Okay. Ms. Burgess, you are suing John Justin Mayhew for $2,000 in a loan that you say you made to him that he has not repaid, correct?
Yes.
Okay, what's going on?
I met him before October. We became friends, but I tried to pursue him as a business partner. We became personal. He became
personal.
Personal, as in we became good friends. I was interested in him. Yes.
Okay. Or did you have a romantic relationship with him? Okay.
No, I did want that.
Okay.
But no, we didn't. I helped him with his children. He became my personal trainer.
How did you help him with his children?
If he needed me to pick them up, I picked them up for him and I got them food. But I'm not suing for that. I'm just suing for the loan that I lent him for his business.
Okay. So when does this loan come into being?
The end of September is when we discussed it, and he was initially asking for $10,000 to $15,000. I was like, I don't have $10,000 to $15,000, and I said, well, I can do $2,000. So October 5th is when he sent me the text message, when can I pick up that loan? And I brought it to his job.
Okay. And did you have him sign anything?
No.
And did you hear that groan from my bailiff? That's never a good sign. Did you? How well did you know him?
I didn't know him that well.
But you wanted to.
I was interested in him, yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. So did that little investment get you what you wanted?
Well, I didn't give him money to get. I'm the type of person, if you're interested, you're interested. If you're not, you're not. And we talked about that. I tried to pursue him for a while because I felt like he was a good person. But I stopped when I felt like he wasn't.
Interested. Right, when he just wasn't that into you, you just stopped.
No, he tried to pursue me, but
if two people are trying to pursue each other, what's the roadblock?
He had a personal assistant who I think she was 19 or 20 years old. When I finally met her, I felt disgusted because she looked so young, and I said, why would I pursue a guy who had sex with this girl?
Oh, wait, you said it was a personal assistant.
Okay.
Okay, it's not a personal assistant. It's a girlfriend?
It was a personal assistant, but they had sexual relations with each other.
Okay.
So I was no longer interested. I work with children. I'm a psychologist.
How old are you?
I'm 29,
And how old is he?
34.
Okay. And how did you learn that he was romantically involved with his assistant?
He told me.
Oh, okay. All right. So, Mr. Mayhew, over to
Yes.
you, sir. What's going on?
Well, when I did meet Miss Wonderful, because that's what she calls herself every day, we
I
met.
like to call myself that every day. Okay.
We met while I was taking care of some business, and
What's some business?
we was actually out in Bay Plaza in the Bronx.
Okay.
And I felt like she took a liking to me right away, but
How did you meet?
we was in like across from each other in cars.
And you
And-
flirted from car to car?
Well, to be honest, I was listening to music very loud, and she told me you should turn that down, and it was kind of like, a way to break the ice. And then from that point, I told her that I'm a small business owner, and
At the light? You told her that?
No, we were in the parking lot.
Okay.
We were in the parking lot, and I told her what I do. I was a small business owner. I gave her a card, and then from there, we actually spoke, and then she said, maybe we should go out to get something to eat. We did it in the morning, so it wasn't a date. It was just basically like a business meeting.
Plaintiff says she was pursuing the defendant until she found out he was involved with a 19-year-old. He's 34, his assistant. But the real question now, does the defendant owe the plaintiff some cash? Let's listen.
At that meeting, she told me that she's very interested in me, and either I'm going to be her husband, business partner, or we're going to start our own business. So at that time, I was a little, overwhelmed. Like, that's a lot. When you don't even know my real name, you already know what our future is going to be like.
What's
so,
your real name?
John. So from that point, I told her that I'm getting I'm a personal trainer. I was getting off the ground. I had a few clients, but at that time, she told me that she might be interested in that also. So as time went by, she told me that
Bold move. A guy you like, having him be your personal trainer, I don't think he's going to see me in that tight thing. Like, now, give me a few weeks, All right,
So,
go ahead.
interesting enough, I became her personal trainer.
You did?
Yes, and I had, at the time, she always made advances that, I want to kiss you, or I don't want to have sex with you, I want to make love to you, things like that. And at the time, I thought, if we're pursuing business, it's kind of hard to concentrate on these things if you want to be in a personal relationship. So I thought at the time, just being a guy, I figured she'd think that I would want to pursue, why not have a little something on the side while I'm making money, but I didn't think it would be good for
Did you
business.
make that clear to her?
I did make it clear.
Okay, but then
she's
you
very
became her trainer
persuasive.
anyway.
Well, she's very persuasive. That's what she does. She's a very outgoing person. So, if I call her and I say, my day is okay, she say, "What? Your day is wonderful. You're alive." And that's just not even so. After a couple days of her,
I want her number.
Yeah. She's a wonderful person. I don't take that away.
So what happened?
So this is when things started getting interesting. She decided from when she found out about my personal assistant.
Okay, how did she find out about you?
I just told her. She was interested in knowing more about my life, and I just told her.
And why are you dating somebody half your age?
I'm not.
It's kind of gross.
Well, for one, I wasn't dating her. She was a personal assistant, and then we just happened to have some type of relation.
Okay.
But it wasn't even a
Maybe it's
relationship.
just gross to me. Maybe it's not gross to you. I mean,
So-
she's a child.
Child?
Kind of, yeah. To you, she is. You could be her father.
34. She's 20.
That's right. And she's how old?
20.
No. Okay. Thought you were 37. She was 19.
No.
All right.
Well,
Still gross. But anyway, go ahead. Not quite as gross.
Thanks.
And not to you. We're clear on that.
But it was really no relevance in her situation because I wasn't pursuing her. And
All right, whatever. So now tell me about the $2,000.
Well, that came about when she decided that she wanted to do some business with me and want to start a company. And we started talking about, what she can do and, how she can implement certain things to the business and, what do I need? So I told her that a long-term plan, this is what I can use, this is what'll help me.
What did you put that in writing?
She doesn't have anything and I don't have anything.
Okay, except for she says that she has text. Let me see you the text.
You want the phone?
I kind of want the phone.
The phone?
Do you have text?
Yes, I do.
Oh, let's see the text on your phone. So then you do have something. It's just not good for you, right?
I have the text
Oh, let's see.
messages
You
and
printed them out and
invoices
everything. That's helpful. Okay.
from the personal training.
From the personal training, not from the loan?
Well, no, not from the loan. Just saying that she was pursuing me, you know, romantically, and that's when things just got mixed up.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Would you ever hook up with somebody you work with?
Never.
Why?
Because you're there, no matter what happens, you're stuck.
I get it. What if you're really into this person?
I don't know, they're always around. You've got to really, really like them to
Could
do
you
it.
resist? If it were you, somebody you really, really were into.
I don't know. It'd be hard.
What do you think?
Nope, can't do it. That's a quick way to get fired, to be quite honest.
Well, no, suppose it's not a boss. Suppose it's just another employee.
Still wouldn't do it.
Wouldn't do it. Going inside the courtroom.
I had just got out of a horrible relationship.
I know, honey. I can tell. I miss you, Mr. Obama. I miss my president. What, you thought that he reminded you of the president?
We went to a few debates together. Speeches together, and he called me Michelle. I call him Obama.
I don't know if I ever said Michelle, but.
All right. Now, that's very interesting, but let me show you what she's got. Oh, and when can I pick up that loan? I wanted to see you before I went to work. LOL. Okay, dang, I have that session. Meet me real quick on Baychester at Citibank. Cash or bank check? Cash, if you don't mind. It's late in the day. Whatever you prefer. Leaving the bank now. Cash is fine, like you are. LOL. Don't know where I am. Call me. You're giving her directions to get there. Okay. So what part of this, if it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, and looks like a duck, why is it not a duck?
Well, because I feel like I was kind of bamboozled.
You were bamboozled.
Yeah, absolutely. I was being a good guy. Well,
normally I'd lean over and say, you were bamboozled, but you weren't. You're a smart woman. You saw something. You like what you saw. You didn't get suckered into anything. So she didn't get bamboozled. You certainly, what is she? She's a witch. You're a witch. She's a witch. That's what it is. She put her special power juju on you. And then there you were accepting a loan that you shouldn't have to pay back because she
wanted to pursue me personally, and
you know
I was
what?
just
Get
being
out of
a
my
good guy.
courtroom. Don't be ridiculous, okay? Why are you not like every other guy? Why? Because you think you're cuter than every other guy? This is ridiculous.
No,
it's a loan.
to be honest,
no,
I actually...
You're going to be honest now?
No, yeah, I was actually... When those days I personally trained her, she asked me to stay over. I actually slept in the same bed with her, but I didn't sleep with her because I didn't have that interest, and I wasn't trying to pursue her like that.
That's just grand. That's what you're supposed to do. You don't get points for doing what you're supposed to do.
Now, why was I supposed to do that?
Here's the last thing because you're supposed to be honorable. Here's the other thing you're supposed to do is pay back something when it's a loan. So pay the lady back $2,000, verdict for the plaintiff.
Thank you.
So the defendant comes out here. That was a loan. My man, here, turn this way and tell me what you think of the outcome of this.
I guess if she said that it's a loan, it's a loan.
You said it was.
Yeah, well, technically, I mean,
How's
I guess
that
it was
not
in
a
a text message. I don't have it. But,
Yeah.
You know.
Well, what was your defense was that I didn't have sex with her. That's not a good defense. That's not a good defense. That's not a winning defense.
Hey.
Are you still interested in her?
No, not at all.
Yeah? All right, head right down there, okay? All right, come on in here. And satisfied how this comes out?
Yes, thank you.
You feel like you, well, you didn't get taken advantage of because what did you see that you liked and what did you see that made you a little wary?
He was a good father figure, but when I saw that he was dating or having sex with a 20-year-old that looked like she could be the same age as his daughter, that turned me off.
Mm-hmm. You still think he's
Absolutely
cute when you
not.
look at him?
I don't
like
look at
Obama?
him. No,
No?
absolutely not.
All right, Harvey?
You know, it is a terrible idea to get involved with somebody you're working with because ultimately somebody is probably going to have to go if this thing blows up. And usually, look, the percentages of relationships are eventually most of them don't work out, especially when you count people who are just casually dating. It's too much of a risk. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Mommy. A Lego Duplo set is a gift that always clicks. And clicks. And clicks. For all the kids who love to stack and play, choose a Lego Duplo set. A gift that always clicks.
This is the plaintiff, Gregory. He says he's suing the defendant for a broker's fee he paid for an apartment he rented. But the apartment wasn't completed in time, and he moved in for just one night. He can't seem to convince her he's right. She refuses to return his money, and he just knows the judge is going to rule for him and award him the $2,800 he's owed. This is the defendant, Carolyn. She says an act of God by the name of Hurricane Sandy hit, and that delayed installation of the kitchen sink and stove. So the plaintiff ended up moving in a few days late, lived there a short time, and then just up and moved out. Bottom line, she did her job, and it's not her fault the plaintiff got cold feet. She's accused of hanging on tight to her fee.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff rented an apartment, but it wasn't completed on time. He only spent one night there, and now he wants his broker's fee back. But the defendant says the whole thing is an act of God in the form of Hurricane Sandy. It's the case of holy moly.
Thank you, Douglas.
You'll come in.
Okay, Gregory, you've asked to be referred to only by your first name. You are suing Carolyn. You're allowing me to call you Carolyn, but not use the last name or the name of the real estate company. Gotcha. For return of a realtor fee of $1,600, plus you want her to pay for your moving expenses twice because it did not work out at the place that she obtained for you. Tell me what happened.
We called up the real estate agent like middle of October 2012.
How did you know her to call her?
I searched around like the phone book. I mean, it's from in the neighborhood, so I've heard of them. So I gave him a call. She said to come in and she'd show us apartments. We went to the one we rented. That one was the first one we went to. And then after that, maybe 15 minutes later, we went to another one, which we didn't like. We liked the first one better. And it like fit our needs to what we wanted.
Now, was the landlord living on the premises as well?
Yeah, they live, at the time, from what I understand, they were living where we were going to rent on the second floor. And their son originally lived on the first floor. And they were going to move from the second floor to the first floor because they were a little older, I guess. They wanted to be on the first floor.
Okay.
So, but they still had their stuff all set up and whatever. But they said, I asked them when it would be ready for, and they told me November 1st.
Okay.
So we looked around at the apartment, we liked it. It fit us well. So then we spoke with the real estate agent after we left. She said we'd have to give it a deposit, to hold the apartment in the form of the security for the landlord. So we called her back. We met with her maybe about 3 or 4 hours later. I wrote out a check for the security to give to the landlord.
How much was the security?
$1,600.
Okay.
We gave that, but the real estate only took cash, so we couldn't give her fee that day because the bank had closed and it was a Saturday at like 3 p.m. So I went in on Monday after work, about 5:30, 6 o'clock. I gave her the cash. I gave her the cash. She filled the receipt out, said she'll let me know when the key was ready. So she said that the landlord had told her that they'd give it a week before if they would, as soon as the work was done in the apartment.
What work?
When we went there, originally they had a sink. It was an old sink and an old stove top. They said, we're going to get somebody to take this out and the countertops and put new ones in. So I said, that's why I'd asked, when is it going to be ready, just so I know to tell my landlord when I can move in. And she said it would be ready for November 1st, which it wasn't. But so.
How do you find out that it wasn't?
I went to I believe it was on a Friday. I had off from work because of the hurricane. There was no way to get into the city.
That's
so I went.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I went there, and the sink and stove wasn't in, but the countertops were in.
Right.
So I called her up, and she said that she would call them up and see what was going on. And they just said that they were having trouble with the hurricane or whatever. They couldn't get somebody to come in.
Because everybody's occupied doing save your life things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. I mean.
So go ahead.
So, okay, but the stove they finally got the stove in. They had never originally.
When did they get the stove in?
I believe it was around that day when they put the countertops in. They left the stove there.
They got the stoves in November 1st?
Yeah, I believe November 1st was on the floor. It was either first or the second.
When do you move in? Because you actually move in.
Yeah, on the 3rd.
And at that point, they were allowing you to not pay the rent until the 3rd or to prorate those days?
No, neither. I had asked the real estate originally if we possibly do that, and she said I was thinking that, but then it never came up again. She never.
Okay, so when you actually start sleeping there, it's what, November 3rd?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really sleep there, honestly.
Because what happens on November 3rd?
On November 3rd, maybe about 1 a.m., all of a sudden I hear like banging and the door starts ringing. I go down. I had just gotten woken up out of it, and my daughter was there, so she starts crying or whatever. And I said, they come out, and the husband of the group, the husband and the wife says, you pay the rent on the 1st every month from now on, otherwise you've got to get out of here.
Right.
So I said, I understand that. I don't have a problem paying the rent, but there's no sink or stove in here. And he says, okay, the plumber's coming tomorrow. And I showed him the check that I had written out maybe a week before when I was going to get the key, when I thought everything was finished. That's the only reason why I was going to get the key, because I thought everything was done at that point. And he said, all right, when the guy comes in the morning, I'm not going to let him in the door unless you give me the rent, the guy to put the sink and the stove in. I said, that's fine by me. I don't have a problem paying the rent. That's not my issue. I just want to have a
Okay,
sink.
but you weren't giving him the rent then.
No, not at that.
Right, they wanted you to give him the rent already because
Well,
you're
he-
living there, and stop
yeah,
and listen
sure.
to me. Because you're skipping this part, but the landlord wanted you to pay the rent because you're all moved in, all your stuff is in there, you're in there, it's November 3rd, and you have not paid rent, and rent's due on the 1st.
Correct.
So you're telling him, look at the check, but you can't have it yet because I want to make sure you put that stove and sink in. You know, these are moments, you're young, so let me just tell you that in the future, you may want to try to work with somebody,
Sure.
because otherwise they're going to say, get out at 1 in the morning. You may want to try to work with somebody and say, look, I just, you know, in fact, blame it on her. That's what my husband always says. You know, you know, I got a happy wife, happy life. She's really nervous about the sink situation. How about if I keep 500 of it? I'll pay you that tomorrow as soon as it's installed. How about if I write you a check? Something. You work it out. You don't say, hostage until like, but that's how you did it. And that really, apparently, made the landlord angry, right? Had they always rented this place? They had never rented. They never had strangers in their house.
That is correct.
And the kind of, is this even legal to rent out?
Yes.
Oh, this is the second floor. The illegal one is the one that they're in.
Yes,
so I guess it's not really illegal because they're in it. So, okay.
Legal.
All right, so now, what other problem happened that night? He wanted the rent, you wouldn't give it to him till the next day.
Yeah, when we went there, my wife went to go use the bathroom, and she went to go flush the toilet, and all of a sudden everything came out of the toilet. It was going all over the floor, so we went down and told them. And the wife, I don't think the husband was home at the time, but the wife came up and so was looking at it and said, oh, she's like looking in the tank, the top of the tank. She thought we put salt in the top, like looking for it to, I don't know why we would do that if we're moving into an apartment.
Right, what did she, why would she think that?
I don't know if like they thought we were intentionally doing things to break it, but I don't know.
Did they ever tell you that they thought
They thought maybe yes. That they.
Why? Did they watch
because
Pacific Heights one too many
light was
times? Like, what did
he
they
broke the light. He supposedly broke a window, and then the toilet bowl all in one.
Tell me about the light in the window.
The light, I mean, I admit to the light, which when they gave us the security back, I took 100 out and paid for the light. Because when I was putting my baby's crib in, I lifted up the mattress, and it was like one of those like swinging ones where it's like not that, it's like the, and I hit the thing. It was like at 10 o'clock at night. And
okay. So they took $100 out, and so that's done. What about the window, though? Did you break the window?
Not that I know of. I mean, I don't know how we could have broke.
Do you have a picture of a broken window?
No, but I have the bill that he brought me that the glass and mirror company.
But what I don't understand is, when did you get your security deposit?
That my father actually went there. I was working. I already took all those.
How many days after you moved out did you get? 5 days after you moved out?
No, I moved out the 5th, and he gave the check on the spot.
He gives a check without checking the apartment to see about a broken window?
He went upstairs, and that's how he saw the light originally.
They're not used to renting to a lot.
Yeah, but if you return the security, well, apparently he's used to complaining about it because the next day he's got a bill in your. But how does he not check that beforehand?
So, does the broker get to keep her fee?
I think she does.
Why?
Because she did the job that was asked of her.
But the plaintiff didn't get value.
It's unfortunate for the plaintiff, but the broker did her job.
What do you think, sir? Final word.
The broker did her job. However, if she should get her money, but she didn't do her job really, because he didn't.
But she did do her job. She found him an apartment.
If she put up temporary lodgings,
well, it wasn't temporary lodging. She did her job, and the place got trashed.
If she's going to put up to,
hey, you know what? We can make this simple. Just say I won.
I won.
There you go. Going inside the courtroom.
Why are you suing her? What did she do wrong?
I mean, it wasn't ready for it wasn't a livable. It wasn't a livable apartment on the first. I mean, I have pictures. There's no sink. There's no stove.
I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
See, and then I wouldn't move in, and then I'd say, I want my money back from you. I want my money back from you. I want my money back from you, and you would be entitled to it because it's the first. And you are standing there, and they did not deliver the product they said they would, and you would have to give the money back, right? Right. Because there's nowhere to cook and eat. She's got a baby. She's, they're human beings. They eat. Right. So, you would have to give the money back, right? But what happened? You moved in. And you were fine with it coming in the next day. And then you and the landlords had a little personality clash. And then too many little problems happened at once. And then they say get out, and then you get out rather than not getting out. So now the reason everything goes to pot is something different. It's the personality clashes, the broken light, the window they didn't know about, I guess, until the next day. The I'm not giving you the rent hostage thing. The whole the bathroom, the toilet. What happened with the toilet? Stand up. What happened with the toilet?
I was cleaning it, and I went to go flush after I cleaned everything, and the water came out from underneath.
Underneath the fittings?
Underneath the actual tub,
where
at the part of it, the
right,
top
but
part.
not over the top, but underneath the
just
bottom.
underneath.
Okay, so whatever it was. But what did she do wrong?
Right. That's
right.
what I want to know.
The answer's
I found
nothing.
them the apartment of their dreams. No other real estate listened to them and got them the apartment that they wanted. With a lovely landlord that said that I'll even babysit for your child.
How did it go so wrong? It was like
That's
perfect.
what I wanted to know.
What
Thank you.
happened? Is he not that mild-mannered?
No, he's not that. I could guarantee
you. I'm talking about you. He's very mild-mannered. Is he mild-mannered?
My husband
What
always.
happened? Yeah, like what happened? You just think
I'm
they were all
telling
creeped out about having strangers in their house?
I guess.
I think
that might be.
No, that wasn't it, excuse me. The problem was I told him she wanted the rent on the first. That's all she asked for. I'll babysit for your child, but they have to pay the rent on the first.
They have to pay their mortgage on the first, so they wanted the rent on the first.
Right, because they have bills to pay and they both work. They're older people and they still work. They needed it for expenses. So when it came, they moved in and he still didn't give the rent.
But this okay, can I just ask you, so you've got young people going in there, older people who are the first time they're ever renting it. Couldn't you as a professional sort of broker the two of them to calm down?
I did. I called Lisa, please. I text Greg, you're not doing the right thing. He has the text. I said, they're older people, they're trying their best. We couldn't, the hurricane came, the plumber couldn't get there when you couldn't even move in on the first. Just do the right thing, pay the rent. They were kind
of an act of God kind of thing that, they couldn't, it's.
I did.
But couldn't you broker something where they kept a little bit of the rent hostage, not all of the rent hostage until
they said they were going to pay the rent the night that they moved in, and they lied to me. They never paid it, and then I get a call the next morning. They told me they were going to. That would have ended the whole problem.
Yeah. All right, I don't know what would have ended the whole problem because maybe nothing would have. Maybe they just really did not want strangers in their home. Maybe it was the stress of the hurricane. Are they renting out to strangers now? Okay.
Yes.
So maybe the stress of the hurricane, Sandy. Maybe it was canis mas macho, chest. Puffing between. I don't know what happened there. It doesn't matter because the only issue I have in front of me, because those folks had said, can't wait to get rid of you. Here's your rent. Here's your security deposit. Right? He gave back the rent and the security deposit.
They never paid the rent.
Oh, that's right.
Just
so he gave back the security deposit. So the landlord saw no pennies from you.
Minus $100.
Minus $100 for
the light fixture.
The light fixture.
He admits to breaking.
Have a broken toilet and a broken window and are like, good riddance. And the only person who has any of your money is the realtor who actually did their job and did nothing wrong. And because of that, I'm not going to order her to return that or your moving expenses. My verdict in this case is for the defendant.
Thank you.
And so with that, the plaintiff comes out with nothing here. The judge keeps asking the same thing. What did she do wrong, the broker?
I feel that she knew it wasn't ready, the apartment. I asked her a few times to push back the date to November 15th or something, and she didn't feel that, and she didn't do her job to help.
It's going to be ready.
She said it's going to be ready.
But, you went ahead and moved in, and once you did that, it changes the laws. You realize that.
Yes.
You realize
I was wrong, but I mean.
That was your big mistake?
I mean, in good faith, they should have gave it back to us. Nobody got the apartment, and they didn't move in.
Living somewhere okay now?
Back in our own place. But I'm glad to not be involved with the landlord or this real estate again.
All right. Right down there, and let's see what the real estate broker has to say. Come on in here. What do you think of the outcome here?
No, I think the judge was right, and it's the truth. I did nothing wrong. What transpired between the two parties,
You couldn't have.
I tried.
You're a broker.
Without me going physically and getting the check from him, and he just didn't want to give it up.
Why do you think they left? Did they change their mind, or?
Yes, they did. They changed. I think they got cold feet. That's what. They were paying a lesser amount in their old apartment, and this was more of a amount. And I think it was.
Let's see what Harvey has.
Yes.
You know, it's really simple. It is just the way they said. It is unfortunate, but the plaintiff, the broker did do her job, and if there are subsequent things that happen, it's not the broker's fault. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Half Man, the new HBO original limited series from Baby Reindeer creator Richard Gadd, examines the tumultuous relationship between two estranged brothers, tracking the highs and lows of the pair over the course of 40 years. Starring Emmy Award winner Richard Gadd and BAFTA Award winner Jamie Bell. Half Man premieres April 23rd on HBO Max.
This is the plaintiff, Oliver Calcano. He says the defendant, his ex-girlfriend's mother, owes him money for car parts he stored behind her freezer. He and her daughter had a bad breakup, to say the least, and the defendant sold the car parts as a way to show solidarity to her daughter and to hit him where it hurts most, in his wallet. He's suing for $3,874.62, the value of his missing parts. This is the defendant, Elsa Aviles. She says the plaintiff moved in with her and her daughter, but she ended up throwing him out of the house because things became very bad between them. She has no idea what the guy's rambling on about regarding car parts hidden behind her freezer. She thinks he's suing her as a way to get back at her because her daughter broke up with him. She's accused of freezing out her daughter's ex.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says his ex-girlfriend's mom sold his valuable car parts that he left behind her freezer. But she says he's making it all up out of revenge for throwing him out. It's the case of You're So Cold.
Okay, Oliver Calcano.
Yes, ma'am.
You are suing Elsa Aviles, your ex-girlfriend's mother, for $3,874.62 in car parts that you say she stole from you. Tell me what's going on.
Well, I used to go out with her daughter, and I was saving up to go to get a house in Pennsylvania. I had moved in with
You and the daughter moved in with mom?
And the mom, yes.
Okay, well, it was her house?
Well, yes, it's her
Okay.
apartment. So I moved in temporarily until my house was ready, so we could both move out to Pennsylvania, because we was about to have a kid. Me and the daughter had a bad breakup, and whatever the case may be.
How old was the kid when you broke up?
There was a newborn.
How long did that relationship last?
About a year and a couple of months.
Not very long. Okay.
Not very long.
Was that child planned or?
It was planned. It was planned for me to get stuff ready to move them out to Pennsylvania and have everything done.
Okay.
After we broke up,
Can you give me a general reason what caused the breakup?
just he said, she said stuff.
Okay.
It's like really minor, but I chose to let it go.
Okay,
and
so
move
then you
on.
break up and then you move out.
Yes.
And why didn't you take these things you're complaining about with you?
Because at the time that I left the house, I was told not to come back because she would call the police.
But you
on
did
me.
come back and you got a bunch of stuff out. So why didn't you take $4,000 worth of valuables with you when you left?
Well,
or when you came back to get stuff?
Well, I didn't. I left with nothing with the clothes just on my back. So when I came back to get all my stuff. And 2 days before me picking up my stuff, she calls me telling me that she's hysterical, crying, saying that somebody broke into her apartment and stole a cart full of meat. And
Who
that's
calls
it.
you and says that?
Elsa Aviles.
Okay.
So I go over there, and she's downstairs hysterical. I calm her down, whatever. I come back 3 days later to get all my stuff. As I'm taking all my stuff, of course, the car parts weighs like 150 pounds. I leave that for last. After I get all my clothes and all my stuff.
Okay, so it is the way I thought, which is that you left $4,000 worth of stuff because you had other stuff that you were taking out. And according to, I just want to get it straight, you left $4,000 worth of parts there to come back and get yet another time.
No, it all happened the same day.
Okay, so at that one shot when you're there, that's when you discover the car parts are missing.
Yes, ma'am.
And what do?
I asked her about it, and that's when she said, "Oh, I told you that somebody had broken in and stole $100 worth of meat in the cart."
Maybe they also took whatever you left behind too. That's what she's saying to you.
That's what she's
But you
saying
don't
to
buy
me.
it.
I don't buy
Where were the stuff that you left behind? Where did you leave it?
Going to an apartment, to your right, there's like a little hallway. It's like an empty space. So what we did was put a curtain, and I had bought a deep freezer to store meat, whatever, to not pack up the refrigerator too much. So I put the stuff behind it. Only me and her, not even her daughter, knew about the stuff was there.
Why would her daughter not know about the stuff?
Because I brought it in, and she don't care about stuff
What's
like
going on? Where's the stuff?
I never seen no car parts in my apartment. Never. So he's lying.
Why is he lying, do you think?
Just to get revenge because of my daughter.
Why?
Maybe he wants to go back with her.
Oh, I doubt that. They've been apart for how long now?
It's going to be like 2 years.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is no way. I mean, I've heard of people serenading and sending flowers and chocolates, but suing your mother is not a way to get back with somebody. So that doesn't sound right. But did you and he have a good relationship? If he's running down to console you when you're crying about a burglary.
We had a good relationship, me and him. But when he started hitting my daughter.
Hitting?
Yeah. And he also sent me ACS saying that I abuse of my grandson.
His child?
His child.
How old is the child?
He's 2 years old right now.
And how do you know he sent ACS to you?
Because I got the paper right here.
It says that he's the one who sent them?
No, they didn't say, but we knew who he was because the way they wrote it down. And when the ACS lady went to the house...
What was the allegation?
Abuse, that I was
But what kind of
abusing.
abuse?
Like hitting the baby or, like just...
Did your daughter ever call the police on him for domestic violence?
Yes.
Did the police ever come to your apartment?
Yes. And,
what was the cause of the breakup?
Arguments, hitting, and he almost dropped, when the baby was 1 month old, he almost dropped the baby.
How do you almost drop a baby? What do you mean?
Because my daughter wanted to take a shower, so she told him that to take care of the baby. So he got mad, took the baby, and he went to the other room, and he almost dropped the baby. The baby was so small.
Did you call protective services on her?
I did call child ACS, not for abuse, because she's a drunk. And after I left, her daughter turned into a drunk. They buy 40 ounces, like if you see in the TVs. They buy 40 ounces, they stock them up in the fridge, and they drink all night. So I was concerned about my son. I did not say about no abuse. I just said, since I can't go in there, can you go and check for me and see if my son is all right?
I have a question for you. Why can't you go in there? Because they don't want you there, or why can't? Or is there a restraining order?
At that time, there was no restraining order.
Is there a restraining order now?
Yes, there is.
And did you hit her daughter?
No, I didn't.
So does it make sense that he'd leave $4,000 worth of car parts behind and it was a bad breakup? Sir?
I just stepped in. I don't know.
Okay, that's fair enough. What do you think?
I think he's lying. If it was that valuable to him, he would have taken it.
What do you think?
Yeah, if you leave, your stuff goes too.
Is it possible that he forgot about...
No way. If it's that much money, he would have taken it even before his clothing. So it's BS.
Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
Did you know about these parts?
No, I didn't know about no car parts in my apartment. I got a picture of the little hallway that I have.
May I see it?
Sure.
And there was a burglary at your home?
Yes, when I went I was doing food shopping. So that day I was so tired, it was like 7 or 8 o'clock in the night. So I went downstairs to eat something. When I came back up, my door was open. And he's the only one who has keys from my house, him and my daughter. So I called the cops, and they said they cannot do no police report because he has the keys, I have the keys, and my daughter has the keys. And they checked the door.
Was there signs of forced entry?
Huh?
Were there signs of forced entry? Did someone break the door down, or someone went in with keys?
Nothing. It went with key. The cops said it was no damage to the door.
So what do you think? You think he stole your meat, and therefore you stole his parts?
For what I want car parts, I don't even have a car.
I don't want car parts, maybe you could sell them, I don't know.
No, I don't need no car parts. I don't have a car.
How do you know that, I mean, your ex and you had a contentious breakup. Then you had a contentious custody battle, which is why you waited to sue on something that happened. How long ago did all this happen?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. And you waited to sue because you wanted the custody battle decided first.
Yes.
Okay. How do I know she didn't steal the parts instead of her mother? You can't prove this case, honey. You can't prove this case. I mean, this is why I tell people all the time, well, you know, they tell me, well, I couldn't get everything out at once. Okay. But, you know, you have one shot to get everything out so that we don't have this kind of problem. I don't know if you left that stuff there, if somebody else took it, if, you know, yet another person besides the two of them took it, if she took it, if the daughter took it. I just don't know who took it. That's why I always recommend to everybody who's moving to move, so we don't have all these issues coming up. Move all at once, get the cops in there. You know, before that night when you're walking out, you say, okay, fine, I'm gonna move my stuff. I'm gonna, you know, do what you gotta do to get the valuables out of there. But, you know, people tell me, oh, I left my jewelry in there. Well, I was saving that for last. Or I left, you know, a valuable watch. And really, why, you know? I mean, if they fit in that tiny little thing, they're not that big. So I don't get it. If it's $4,000 in this tiny little thing, take it with you that day, put it under your armpits. And whatever it is you're taking that, you know, the first time when you're walking out with the clothes on your back and the $4,000 under your armpits. But the bottom line is you have the burden of proof as a plaintiff in a court of law to prove it happened the way you're saying. If I believe you that you are missing stuff and I believe you that the stuff is valuable, I still got to believe she took it for you to win. Verdict for the defendant. Because there's just no proof.
So yes, the car parts are missing, but who actually is responsible for having thieved them?
Well, she knows she took them. She knows it was there. And
how can you be sure it was her?
She has a neighbor that's a drug addict that works in a music store that knows about the value of the parts. And
that's not proof, though. That's kind of circumstance. That's not proof, you know. There's a difference between suspecting and really proving.
Well,
as you know, you want to raise this son as your child, but they have to be included in that. How are you going to do that?
Well, that's why I'm going for custody battle. I got my own house. They live in the projects. I got everything. I got a job. They're on welfare, and I'm.
You want him away from that?
I want him away from
okay.
this.
All right, right down this way. Okay. So step in here. Your feeling on the outcome here?
I'm very happy I won this case.
Mm-hmm.
He's a liar, and, you know, God is with me, so.
Where do you want the child to be raised?
Me and my daughter.
You think he's better off there than with him?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think that?
Because we take care of him, we don't abuse him, we spoil my grandson.
All right, good luck.
And he's spoiled to right.
Harvey?
You know, we've talked about this before from time to time. You know, common sense is really important. The way you conduct yourself in the middle of a dispute is going to be very important if you end up in court. A judge is going to look at your actions and ask, does it really track with his story? In this case, it makes no sense that something this valuable, $4,000 worth of car parts, are just going to be left behind in the middle of a bad breakup. It's something the guy would have taken. So common sense should dictate how you conduct yourself, what you do and what you don't do when you're in the middle of a dispute.